Usually when we build physical infrastructure, like a city bridge, for example,
Hmm.
we kind of expect it to stay a bridge.
Right. Yeah, you drive over it, it serves a public utility, and, that's that.
Exactly. It doesn't slowly morph into a toll booth and then, I don't know, a locked shopping mall where the exits are hidden and someone is constantly searching your pockets.
No, of course not. Physical infrastructure is static. It's built for a specific purpose, and we have building codes to keep it that way. You can't just randomly turn a public highway into a private casino.
Right. But you step into the digital infrastructure of the modern internet, and suddenly that bridge is actively trying to trap you.
Yeah, it really is.
We are looking at a digital landscape that is, honestly, actively hostile to the people using it.
It is the absolute definition of a shifting predatory architecture. We built a global village, but somehow we ended up living in a company town.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we are exploring a really radical decentralized technology model led by an organization called Ethical Web AI.
And this isn't just, a new app for you to download.
No, not at all. It's a complete architectural blueprint aiming to fundamentally replace the current internet infrastructure, literally one local community at a time.
Which sounds impossible, but wait until we get into the mechanics of it.
To figure out how this works, we've got a massive, fascinating stack of materials in front of us today.
Yeah, it's a really diverse stack, too.
We're looking at interviews with tech critic Cory Doctorow, the explosive Facebook whistleblower documents from Frances Haugen, GDPR compliance reports on generative AI.
Don't forget the technical documentation from Mastodon.
Right, and white papers detailing a patented $4.7 billion technology known as the Ethical Web Search Platform.
It's a dense stack, I know, but the mission for today is crucial.
Yeah, we need to understand exactly how the internet broke, why the current ad tech and AI models are totally unsustainable.
And how a new ecosystem of what they call federated community super apps might just be the structural fix for the so-called four horsemen of the modern tech apocalypse.
Real quick, though, before we jump in, a quick note to you, the listener. The materials we are unpacking today contain some heavily politically charged concepts.
Yeah, very much so.
We're talking about direct criticisms of specific governments, regulatory bodies, and, the neoliberal economic system itself.
So we want to be absolutely clear up front. We are impartially reporting the viewpoints found in these documents.
Exactly. We aren't taking any political sides here or endorsing these specific views. We are simply conveying the ideas exactly as they appear in the original text so we can understand the mechanics of what they're proposing.
Right, just laying out the blueprint.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we can even look at the technological solution, we have to diagnose the disease.
We do.
How exactly did the internet break?
The sharpest diagnosis here comes from Cory Doctorow. He coined a very colorful, highly accurate term, enshittification.
It's such a great word.
It really is. It's a three-stage life cycle of platform decay, and understanding this mechanism is key to understanding everything else we're talking about today.
Right. And it always starts out looking like a massive gift.
Oh, always.
Stage one, the platform is incredibly good to its end users. Like, think back to Facebook in its early days.
Oh, yeah, when everyone was dealing with the chaos of MySpace.
Exactly. Facebook positioned itself as the clean, safe, exclusive alternative they promised they wouldn't spy on you.
Which seems wild now.
So wild. So you invite your friends, you build your entire digital social life there, and boom, you are locked in.
Exactly. The lock-in is the trap. Once your entire social circle is there, the switching costs are just too high.
Yeah, you love your friends more than you hate the platform's changing rules, so you just stay.
And that lock-in triggers stage two. The platform pivots to make things exceptionally good for business customers.
Right, they need to monetize.
Exactly. They lure in advertisers with dirt cheap rates and incredibly precise targeting. They go to news publishers and say, hey, put your articles natively on our feed. We'll send you massive free traffic.
And once the businesses and publishers are totally dependent on that traffic for survival stage 3 kicks in,
The squeeze.
the platform withdraws the value from both the users and the businesses. Your feed is suddenly filled with sponsored posts and algorithmic junk you never asked to see.
While those advertisers are suddenly paying exponentially more for worse results.
Yeah, the platform just squeezes both sides. All the surplus value is harvested and sent straight to the top for the executives and shareholders.
Dr. Alaro actually points out that Amazon's search and advertising business is now worth $58 billion. $58 billion.
Wow.
Think about that mechanism. It's an auction where sellers literally have to pay Amazon a premium just to show up when you search for their product.
Which inevitably forces them to raise prices for everyone.
Right. And this relentless optimization for profit over people brings us directly to the Frances Haugen whistleblower documents.
She was a data scientist at Facebook, right?
Yes, and the internal research she leaked showed the mechanics of how this plays out socially. The company knew their algorithms were amplifying hate and misinformation.
Because angry, polarizing content keeps people scrolling.
Exactly. Rage is a highly profitable engagement metric.
Yeah, the numbers in her leak are staggering. One internal study estimated they take action on as little as 3 to 5% of hate speech.
3 to 5%, it's practically nothing.
The documents even tied algorithm-driven ethnic violence to real-world tragedies, like in Myanmar in 2018. It is a direct line from an ad tech business model to real-world devastation.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, these issues aren't just bad business practices. The documents categorize these systemic failures as the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Okay, let's break those down.
First, you have tech monopoly, where giants act as a de facto global tax on all commerce.
Right.
Second, broken democracy, where voters feel entirely disenfranchised by algorithmic manipulation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Third, a broken economy, with massive wealth inequality fueled by this neoliberal ad tech model. And finally, truth decay.
Truth decay, like losing our shared reality.
Exactly. We've lost a common baseline of reality because these systems prioritize outrage over accuracy.
But wait, I have to push back a little here. Didn't we all implicitly agree this trade-off?
Well,
I mean, we get free social media, free search engines, free next-day delivery, and in exchange, they show us some ads.
that's the narrative, sure.
It feels like we walked into a bait-and-switch timeshare presentation. You come for the free weekend vacation, connecting with friends, sharing photos, but you end up locked in a windowless room being ruthlessly squeezed for your data and cash.
That timeshare analogy is spot on, but the squeeze isn't just on you as an individual consumer. The economic vice grip is absolutely destroying local businesses.
Right.
And this is where the system goes from being merely annoying to being structurally unsustainable.
Let's dive into that direct economic impact, moving from the global societal level down to, like, your local high street.
Yeah, let's look at the data.
The data shows that the digital ad tech model is wildly, prohibitively expensive. Imagine you are a small local business, say a local plumber or an independent shoe store. If you are trying to break even on Google AdWords, it can easily cost you $5,000 a month.
$5,000 just to break even. And the cost per click, the CPC, is brutal.
It really is.
The mechanics of the auction system mean that depending on your industry, every single time someone clicks your ad, not buys something, just clicks. It ranges from $3 up to a staggering $100.
$100 for a click. And here is the absolute kicker from a massive study by ISBA and PwC. Half of all online ad spending goes to completely untraceable industry middlemen.
Half of it.
Yeah, it's not even going to the platform itself. It's vanishing into a black box of programmatic ad exchanges.
Which creates a highly specific dysfunction the white papers call the MSAE problem.
MSAE, right, market sector ad tech experts.
Exactly. These are predatory middlemen who basically buy up all the SEO and ad space for a specific local market.
So if you're that local plumber we just talked about.
Right. These middlemen bid massive amounts to dominate the top search results for plumber in my town.
And then they turn around and force that actual local plumber to pay them a premium just to buy those leads back in their own neighborhood.
It's completely parasitic.
It's exactly like someone building a digital toll booth directly at the end of a small business's driveway and charging them a fee every time they want to leave their own house to do a job.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. It is classic antitrust market abuse, akin to Standard Oil back in the day.
Wow.
It's the exact same mechanism with single market mobile apps, too. Think of food delivery apps like Uber Eats or Just Eat.
Yeah, they are everywhere now.
They insert themselves between the restaurant and the customer, taking up to a 30% cut from local merchants on every single order.
30% is huge for a restaurant margin.
It wipes out their profit completely. The system is entirely rigged against the creator of the value. And what's amazing is that the founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, literally predicted this exact scenario back in 1997.
Wait, really?
Yes. They wrote in a Stanford paper, We expect that advertising-funded search engines will be inherently biased towards the advertisers and away from the needs of the consumers.
Wow. They literally called their own shot.
Did they?
They knew the architecture was flawed from day one, but if the ad auction model is economically unsustainable and, toxic to local economies, how do we actually search for things without it?
That is the big question.
Because we can't just stop looking for plumbers and pizza. And that requires a massive structural shift, which brings us to the radical pivot in these documents, the ethical web search platform.
Right. This platform is the technical manifestation of a very specific patent number 10977-387.
Catchy name.
Very. It was independently valued at $4.7 billion a few years ago.
$4.7 billion.
And the analysts argue it's worth exponentially more now because of the AI boom, which we'll definitely get into shortly.
The core philosophy here completely flips how we think about the internet. It argues that searching for information like who won the 1994 World Series and searching for products like who has a size 10 hiking boot in stock locally are two entirely different actions.
Fundamentally different, yes.
So we should use fundamentally different tools. Ethical web search isn't trying to be Wikipedia. It is strictly built for finding goods and services at the inventory level.
And the business model behind it is what makes it a systemic fix. It completely eliminates the pay-per-click ad auction.
Thank goodness.
Instead, it operates on a flat monthly fee for local businesses. It's a digital return to the old Yellow Pages or classified ads model.
A level playing field.
Exactly. A mom-and-pop hardware store pays the exact same flat fee as a massive chain to be listed.
It also has this brilliant feature called concierge search.
Oh, I love this feature.
Think about how much time you waste doom scrolling looking for a specific item. With this, you search once. If the local store doesn't have it, you don't keep searching.
You just go about your day.
Right? The system just notifies you the exact moment that product enters a local store's inventory. But here's where it gets really interesting. This search engine is profoundly anonymous.
Which is unheard of today.
There is no user registration, no behavioral data tracking. It's a search engine that actively doesn't want to know who you are.
Which completely short-circuits the surveillance capitalism model that drives the enshittification cycle.
Exactly.
There's no behavioral data to harvest. There's no way to squeeze the user. But building a search engine that doesn't track you creates a massive logistical problem.
Right.
If you don't have a giant centralized server farm funded by billions in ad revenue, where does this tool actually live? Who pays to keep the lights on?
Yeah, you can't just build a better ethical tool and then host it on Amazon Web Services or hand it to Mark Zuckerberg to run.
Definitely not.
You have to change who owns the toolbox. And this is the crux of the entire blueprint, the federated community super app model.
To really grasp how this works, we need to look at the Mastodon documentation. Mastodon runs on a concept called federation.
Okay, let's explain federation.
If a platform like X or Facebook is centralized, meaning one CEO makes all the rules, owns all the servers, and can change the algorithm on a whim, federation is more like email.
Yeah, that's the perfect analogy. If I have a Gmail account, I can easily email your Outlook account. Google doesn't own the concept of email.
Right.
It's a shared open protocol that independent servers use to talk to each other.
Exactly. Ethical Web AI takes this federated structure and uses it to deliver these community super apps.
So instead of one massive app for everyone.
Right. Instead of one global monolithic app for everyone on Earth, each local community, say a specific town, a city neighborhood, or a county owns and manages its own independent app.
And it's a super app, meaning it bundles everything you need locally into one interface.
Yeah, everything in one place.
It has the ethical web search built in for finding local goods and services at that inventory level. But it also has Mastodon built right in for open source local social media.
And local news feeds.
Yes, to revitalize local journalism. And it even has a digital wallet and payment processor.
The genius here is the funding mechanism. The main reason decentralized networks like Mastodon struggle to compete with big tech is the sheer cost of server hosting and moderation.
It's expensive to run a social network.
Very. But in this super app model, those flat monthly subscription fees paid by local businesses to be listed on the ethical web search, those fees cover all the operational costs for the social media and the news feeds.
It is an elegant closed loop. It totally removes the need for digital ads.
Completely.
The local businesses get cheap, fair access to their customers without paying a middleman for clicks, and the community gets ad-free, surveillance-free social media.
And the revenue split, it's fascinating too. It's an 80-20 split.
Okay, break that down.
80% of the revenue stays directly with the community licensee who runs the app, and 20% goes to Ethical Web AI as a license fee.
It's the classic picks and shovels model of the Californian gold rush.
That's a great way to put it.
Ethical Web AI isn't trying to mine all the gold and hoard it. They're providing the underlying infrastructure, taking a small operational cut and letting the local communities keep the actual wealth they generate.
There's a brilliant real-world case study in these documents that proves this isn't just theory either.
Oh, the Scotland example.
Yes, a town in Scotland called Dunfermline. They launched a local app called Dunfermline Eats to bypass the giant incumbent Just Eat.
Awesome.
By using this community-first model, they charged the local restaurants significantly lower commission fees. And crucially, they paid them their revenue the very next day instead of holding it for a week.
And because the economic incentives were finally aligned with the creators of the value, they achieved market dominance. The outline notes they did this with zero online advertising spend, which sounds impossible until you think about the mechanics of it. They didn't need to buy Facebook ads because the local businesses became the marketing channel.
Exactly.
The pizza place actually wants you to use Dunfermline Eats because it saves them 30%. So they put flyers in every delivery bag, they put stickers on their front doors.
They do the marketing for them.
The community organically routed around the tech monopoly because the local alternative was just structurally better.
And this localized, federated structure actively fights those four horsemen we diagnosed earlier.
Right, let's revisit those.
It fights truth decay by entirely removing the algorithm-driven, ad-funded rage bait from social media. There is no financial incentive to make you angry if there are no ads to serve you.
Makes total sense.
And it addresses broken democracy through its governance model. These community apps are designed to be managed by local nonprofits, overseen by citizens' assemblies chosen by sortition.
Sortition, meaning like randomly selecting citizens to make decisions. Literally like jury duty for local app governance.
Basically, yeah.
Why is that important? Because you take the power away from profit-driven board members and billionaires, and you give it directly to a representative cross-section of the community.
You decentralize power down to the root level.
But if this model perfectly fixes local economies, how does it address the massive elephant in the room? The biggest tech story of the decade. Artificial intelligence.
Oh, this is where the ethical web model intersects with full-blown corporate panic.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When you look at the GDPR compliance reports, they highlight a massive existential issue for the industry called the generative AI compliance gap.
Why?
Standard enterprise AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude are fundamentally violating European privacy laws.
Wait, I have to stop you there. How is that possible? Every major Fortune 500 company is integrating these tools into their workflows right now.
They are, but from a strict regulatory standpoint, they really shouldn't be. The absolute core of GDPR is the walled garden principle.
Walled garden. Okay.
If a company takes sensitive client data, say medical records or financial details, puts it into a prompt, and sends it to a public AI model, that data has left the company's secure, legally compliant walled garden.
Oh, I see.
Even if the AI vendor promises, cross their heart, not to train their model on your data, the very act of transmitting personally identifiable information to a third-party server violates strict data minimization rules.
Wow.
In fact, a Cisco study cited here shows 27% of enterprises have already outright banned generative AI internally because of this exact legal risk.
Okay, that is a massive roadblock.
Yeah.
So if the problem is the sensitive data leaving the building, the only fix is to somehow scrub the data before it ever hits the internet cable.
Exactly.
But doing that manually for every single employee prompt sounds like an administrative nightmare. How does ethical web AI actually solve this?
With a profoundly clever patented solution called AI Vault. Think of it as a localized intelligent firewall. It sits entirely on-premise, inside the client's secure walled garden. It intercepts the workflow. When an employee types a prompt containing sensitive data, AI Vault instantly identifies the sensitive information, redacts it, and pseudonymizes it before it ever leaves the building.
Pseudonymization, let's break that down for everyone.
Course.
It means it replaces the real sensitive data with a secure placeholder token. So it sends this stripped-down, completely anonymized prompt to the cloud-based AI vendor.
Right.
The AI does its processing, sends the general answer back, and then the AI vault, sitting locally, drops the real sensitive data back into the final answer for the employee.
Seamlessly.
The AI vendor in the cloud is completely blind. They never see the real data.
Exactly. It makes enterprise AI legally viable. But AI has another, arguably even bigger problem, the training data itself.
Oh, the scraping issue.
Yes. Right now, these massive large language models are trained by indiscriminately scraping the entire internet. But as we established with truth decay and enshittification, the internet is full of SEO spam, algorithmic junk, and outright lies.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out.
The models are eating toxic data, which leads to hallucinations.
And this is where the ethical web search engine becomes the ultimate Trojan horse for fixing AI.
It really does.
By having thousands of federated local communities managing real-time searches for actual goods and services, plugging directly into local inventory systems and point-of-sale registers, they aren't just helping you find a plumber.
No, they are doing something much bigger.
They are inadvertently building the cleanest, most accurate, real-time global database of supply chain inventory on Earth.
The white papers actually refer to it as becoming the Wikidata of goods and services.
I love that phrase.
It is the ultimate, pristine, commercial training data set. It is entirely free of SEO manipulation and ad tech spam because it's built on verified local business subscriptions, not scraped web pages.
So, connecting the dots here, what does this all mean for the future of AI and the internet?
What's fascinating here is the profound irony of the solution. The tech giants are currently spending billions trying to build massive centralized superbrains to index and rule the world.
Right.
But the only way to actually save the global AI revolution from its own toxic training data and massive privacy violations is to rely on highly localized, completely anonymous, community-owned databases.
Wow.
The hyperlocal architecture is the only thing that can save the global technology.
That is incredible. We've covered a massive amount of ground today.
We really have.
We started by diagnosing how the ad tech model enshittified the web, giving rise to the four horsemen: tech monopoly, broken democracy, broken economy, and truth decay.
Yep.
We walked through the mechanics of how the current system bleeds small businesses dry through digital toll booths and predatory middlemen.
The MSA problem.
Exactly. And we explored how ethical web AI's architectural blueprint, these decentralized federated community super apps, offers a radical, viable alternative.
Changing the world a community at a time.
Yeah. It's an anonymous, flat-fee ecosystem that empowers local economies, revitalizes local journalism without ads, and, ironically, provides the clean data and secure infrastructure needed to save the future of artificial intelligence.
It really is a complete systemic reimagining of our digital infrastructure. It takes that hostile, predatory bridge we talked about at the start of the show and engineers it back into a public utility.
Which is exactly what we need.
But, you know, looking at this blueprint leaves us with a really deep societal question to ponder.
Okay, let's hear it.
If this model succeeds and the future of the internet is no longer a centralized global village run by 3 billionaires, but instead a constellation of intensely local, federated digital neighborhoods, how will that shift change our own personal identities?
Oh, that's interesting.
Will we stop seeing ourselves as citizens of the internet and finally return to being deeply invested citizens of our actual physical communities?
That is a brilliant, provocative question to end on. If the digital world becomes local again, maybe we do too. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the architecture of tomorrow. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.